Hola, buenos días, soy Nico. And today we are here to start off another wonderful week's worth of content. Unfortunately, this is a very disheartening video, but before we get into that, let me get all this out of the way. If you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly lives, and to be a part of the live streams that happen every Thursday, 5:30 CDT and 7 p.m. CDT. Still on that Thursday. It's like one live stream and then a break and another live stream. Basically, if you're interested in that or if you like this kind of content, make sure to check it out. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We just hit 30K. We're about to hit 31K. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Now, let's get on to the actual story. This is actually extremely disheartening. It is over someone I'm unfamiliar with, but I've seen at multiple social settings. His name is Deundray Cottrell. And unfortunately, he went missing during 4th of July. Now, this information has been steadily coming out, and I've received this news story from multiple mutuals who knew him and thought me getting this story out might help find him. But unfortunately, while I was gathering information these last couple of days, his body has been found. So, this is the story that I've gathered so far from news articles and the help wanted looking for him information. Deundray Cottrell basically went to Birmingham, Alabama to meet his sister, her husband, and their child at the new home that they purchased. But he also took his romantic partner, Julian Taylor Moore. I believe that's his name. I'm just going to shorten it to Deundray and Cottrell going forward so I don't mess up their last names. Basically, they've been partners for 3 years, to the sisters' recounts, and they went to go visit them at their new home in Alabama when they arrived at 6 p.m. that night. It was then at 10 p.m. later that night that Deundray told his sister, "Hey, I'm gonna go check on my dogs because of the fireworks and they're probably startled." So from there, him and Julian left their home. And that is the last time that they saw Deundray alive. So from there, he had been pronounced missing by Friday, and everyone was frantically looking for him. But the sister said something was off about Julian, where she basically said in this news interview, "We're all going out searching, taking turns searching throughout the day, and we come back and Julian is sitting in the kitchen with a plate of food, acting extremely calm and nonchalant, while also saying, 'Oh my God, this food is amazing.'" Basically throwing the fact that his partner of 3+ years is missing and his family is frantically looking for him.
She says Julian was the one who alerted her that her brother disappeared, saying he jumped off her patio balcony.
He told us that when he jumped, he bounced, he got up, jumped the fence, and then he took off running.
She says Morris was the last person to see Cottrell alive, and his initial reaction and behavior was bizarre.
While we looked, Julian didn't. At one point, while everybody was searching, we came back in the house and Julian had fixed a plate and was sitting there eating, and he looked at me and was like, "Oh my gosh, the food is so good."
Fearing Morris knew more than he was letting on, she told him to leave and find somewhere else to stay.
Julian knows everything. He kept making sure to remind me throughout his rants that he was a Marine.
So from there, she began to recount the story that Julian told her, that when they were basically having a conversation, Cottrell jumped off of the balcony, bounced off of one other balcony, and then continued to run through multiple backyards, jumping over fences, but he doesn't recall why. And that's like a red flag in my head right there. Like, why would he randomly jump off of a balcony and then run through multiple backyards as if fleeing for his life? Because they said they eventually did get ring camera footage of other neighbors showing that he was frantically running from backyard to backyard, hopping fences as if he was looking for refuge or trying to get away from someone. So the last person that he was seen alive with is not caring that he's missing, is not actively searching with everyone else, recalled the story of his 3+ year boyfriend jumping off of a balcony and running away from their vicinity, and he's not concerned. But now he's missing. Nico, there was another post that was like, if you've seen Julian, come out and, give us a heads up because he's officially missing as well. And then the police put out a statement saying there's a $5,000 reward if you have any information on where Julian is, because he is currently a suspect. Because once again, he is the last person Cottrell was seen alive with. And from the story he told, he jumped off of a balcony to get away from him. It doesn't make sense, especially now that Julian is officially missing. There's clearly more to the story, but unfortunately they did end up finding Cottrell's lifeless body inside of a shed in Alabama. So honestly, in my personal opinion, I believe Julian might have had something to do with it, for the sole fact that he was the last person that they saw Cottrell with. The only things they found while looking for Cottrell before they found his body was his phone, one of his shoes, and his sunglasses. He was frantically running away from Julian, jumping off of balconies and jumping over backyard fences to get away. And then he was found in a shed days later, and Julian is nowhere to be found. In my personal opinion, something's not right in the buttermilk. I can't necessarily tie this to a bigger, learning lesson like I try to do with these more serious topics, seeing as how there isn't like a story about DV. There isn't a story about there isn't more details to this, rather than a doctorate student from Atlanta unfortunately passed away in Alabama while visiting family for the holidays with his significant other, and now the significant other is currently on the run. That's unfortunately all we have, and if you do have information about Julian's whereabouts, here is the number that you should call if you do know, just for the sole fact that there are answers that need to be heard. I don't like coming on here and telling a story and not having all the information at hand, but foul play was clearly at hand because the police have dubbed it a homicide. They said he was taken out of this world, and coincidentally, the last person he was seen with, his partner of 3+ years, wasn't looking for him whatsoever, wasn't concerned, and is now missing as well. I don't know. But that's the information at hand. And once again, if you have any idea about Julian's whereabouts, even if it is just for questioning, please call this number that I'm inserting right here. That should be in the news article. But with all the information at hand, I'll leave the rest to you guys. Did you know Cottrell? Did you know Julian? Because personally, I did not know them on a first name basis. I've seen them at multiple parties. I've seen them on flyers for big events that I've gone to. So these aren't unfamiliar faces. I just do not know them personally. And I do hope that Cottrell rests in peace and his family gets some answers and some closure, because this is traumatizing, especially after a big holiday weekend. But once again, I'll leave the conversation in y'all's hands and call the line if you have any information. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Keith S. and codename Sticky. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. And this week's livestream discussion will be over sugar daddies versus gay mentors within the community. If that sounds interesting to you, or if you have your own stories to tell, definitely tune in.